Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mount Juliet High School Marine Corps Junior ROTC Birthday Ball, commemorating the 244th anniversary of the founding of our Corps. Please silence your cell phones and rise as Sergeant Major Clark delivers the Marine's prayer.
Let us pray. Almighty Father, whose command is over all, and whose love never fails, make me aware of thy presence and obedient to thy will. Keep me true to my best self, guarding me against dishonesty in purpose and deed, and help me to live so that I can face my fellow Marines, my loved ones, and thee without shame or fear. Protect my family. Give me the will to do the work of a Marine and to accept my share of responsibilities with vigor and enthusiasm. Grant me the courage to be proficient in my daily performance. Keep me loyal and faithful to my superiors and to the duties my country and the Marine Corps have entrusted to me. Make me considerate of those committed to my leadership. Help me to wear my uniform with dignity and let it remind me daily of the traditions that I am to uphold. If I am inclined to doubt, steady my faith. If I am tempted, make me strong to resist. If I should miss the mark, give me the courage to try again. Guide me with the light of truth and grant me the wisdom by which I may understand and answer to my prayer. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Senior Marine Instructor for Mount Juliet Marine Corps JROTC, Major Antilli.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the 244th celebration of the birth of the United States Marine Corps. Before I get into some specifics about this celebration, I'd like to recognize some individuals here tonight. Representing our administrative staff here at Mount Juliet High School, Mr. Hammond. Thank you, sir. Give him a hand. We have some other community representatives here as well. We have Chief Luffman, Mount Juliet Fire Department. We have Chief Hambrick, Mount Juliet Police Department. We have Mr. Ray Render, Deputy District Director, Congressional District 6 for 17. We're also fortunate enough tonight to have our Marine Corps, Navy, and Army recruiters with us here this evening. Please stand up, folks. As you can see, we enjoy a lot of support from our community and our school. This is a program of about 140 cadets, and we run it on a Marine Corps model. This is a Marine Corps JROTC program. And as such, tonight we're celebrating the 244th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. In 1921, General John Lejeune, who was Commandant at the time, a few short years after what was then called the Great War, which was World War I, declared that it would be appropriate to celebrate November 10th, 1775 as the birth date of the United States Marine Corps. And he made it official in 1921. And since then, it has been celebrated by all units, large and small, across the nation and across the globe, whether at home, whether at war, whether at peace. And as we sit here tonight, there are Marines in the field and in garrison celebrating this right now. It has become as much of an institution of the Marine Corps as its history itself. What you're going to see here tonight is the result of a lot of hard work by our cadets. They've been rehearsing exhaustively for several weeks, and they put a lot of time and effort into this, and I will tell you, in my 20 years in the Marine Corps, they are better than some of the Marines that I've seen. And that is no joke. They put a lot of hard work into this. The grade level of these cadets ranges from 9 through 12, and their commitment is truly amazing. Also, I want to extend a special thanks to Sergeant Major Clark. This is his second year here, and those of you that started with him know that he's brought a lot of energy to this program, and the ceremony you're going to see tonight was his brainchild. He has organized it, and he has trained these young men and women to perform the ceremony that you're about to see. So from here on out, it's up to the cadets to run it, so I'm going to hand it back to Cadet First Sergeant Green. I want to thank all of you, community members, school members, service members, and especially the families for coming out tonight. And there's one last thing I want to do before we start. If you are active duty or retired or reserve or just a former armed service member at any time, please stand up. Let's give them a hand. And one of the things I like to do is recognize a specific veteran. I like to pick on the Vietnam guys because when I was in flight school, the Vietnam flight instructors, the F-4 Phantom and A-5 Vigilante guys were the best instructors I ever had. And they kept me alive in some pretty intense situations later on in my career. So I always take my hats off to the Vietnam vet guys. This particular individual is, I have become a good friend of him and his family, and he served in Vietnam for 2 years, got out in 1968, was a combat infantryman, was awarded the Combat Infantry Badge, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, Overseas Service Deployment Ribbon ×2, Air Medal, and the big one, the Bronze Star. If you know anything about the Bronze Star, you know they don't give those out like candy. I'd like to recognize Mr. Danny Kittrell, if you would stand up, please, sir. At this time, I hand it over to the cadets. For Sergeant Green.
As you enter this banquet hall, you may have noticed that before us tonight stands an empty chair and a single lone table draped in black, signifying all of our fallen comrades who are not with us this evening, because they have given the full measure of devotion to our country and to our beloved Corps. The single lighted candle reminds us of the flame of eternal life, and that the memory of our fallen comrades will be with us always. The Purple Heart medal is displayed to reflect the shedding of blood and the ebb of life in battle. The identification tags are blank, yet they could bear the name of any of us here tonight. Only a few Americans choose the dangerous and necessary work of fighting our nation's enemies. As a consequence of that choice, some have paid the ultimate price, joining the honor roll of heroes who have built the noble legacy of our Corps. For those of us who carry on that legacy, it is our obligation to honor those fallen Marines. As Marines gather in celebration of our history, we gather in the shadows of greatness. Though our fallen can no longer participate in our traditions, they will always be a part of us and who we are. Please rise for a moment of silence for our fallen comrades. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, a video message from the Commandant and Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps.
Up, and that's what happens. Speaking of coming up, the sun's going to be coming up here in about another 5 minutes or so.
V-22 aircraft standing by. So these Marines will be ready to go, Wolf, if and when the order comes.
Every Marine trains, prepares 24/7 to get the phone call in the middle of the night that your unit's deploying. The phone call you weren't expecting, but you're ready for.
Marines win as a team. It's a team sport. We get there, fight, sustain, advance, and win as a team.
There's so much planning, so much detail that goes into a night raid or an amphibious landing. So many things can go wrong. There's a lot of complexity to a night patrol with a platoon of Marines in tough terrain.
I couldn't even describe the amount of adrenaline rush that it takes. It hits your body, and it's like a light switch. And as soon as the light turns on, you just go. And it really boils back down to the basics of that whole team concept, though, because you've trained, you've done it so many times that it's just automatic. That muscle memory hits, and it's the whole concept of shoot, move, communicate as a team.
It's not an easy task to launch out of the back of a Navy ship and move towards land. Knowing Marines will be the first one to put feet ashore and secure the beach.
We go back to our guys, start prepping our gear, do PCCs, PCIs, make sure everybody's on the same page. That way when we get off the bird and our first step, it's game time from there.
We've done it before, and we'll continue to do it. But we must be able to do it from the sea. The sea is where we will launch from, maneuver from, and recover to. We have a lot of innovation and a lot of technology in the Marine Corps.
But at the end of the day, the centerpiece for the Marine Corps is some small unit. That part is the focus. That is why we exist.
There's one thing, especially being an infantry unit leader, is the fact that there's so many things going on in what we call the controlled chaos of combat, and without having good squad leaders to be able to call in the medevacs, to be able to call for fire, and to know that your front's covered in all angles because the team's there and making sure that the job's getting done.
A really good operational unit is silent when they're moving. No voice commands. Just Marines moving quietly, slowly, no talking.
When it comes down to it, technologies have changed, but the fundamentals of warfare remain the same. Once we hit the deck, it's all about squad leaders and platoon sergeants assessing the situation and adapting to it, just like it has been throughout our entire history.
Implicit communications, sensing the Marine to the left and to the right, knowing where each member of the squad is and where they need to be, like a finely tuned machine. Successes and failures. And the piece that makes us know our lives are safe in the hands of others is trust. We trust our fellow Marines and sailors implicitly. We know they are trained, prepared, willing to put it all on the line when the situation calls for it, in combat, in garrison, and at home. Without trust and cohesion, a platoon doesn't exist. The unit doesn't exist. The Corps doesn't exist. I trust my life to each and every Marine who has ever earned the title U.S. Marine.
I'll tell you, some of the best Marines I had in Vietnam were corpsmen. They're not sailors or medics, they're corpsmen, and they love the Marine Corps.
When I got off that train, and it was a train that I got off of, Paris Island, and that gunnery sergeant started yelling at me, okay? He lit a fire in me. And the day that I left boot camp, and he put a metal emblem in my hand and squeezed my hand until it bled. And that still makes a difference for me.
It is with honor, courage, and commitment that we stand in the face of adversity with unwavering resilience. There is no better friend, no worse enemy, because it does not matter how bruised or battered, we refuse to fail. To be always faithful. In times of chaos or peace, we willingly pay its price because freedom is not free. In faith in something greater than ourselves, we stand boldly, determined to make a difference, to make our presence felt. And to this cause, we dedicate our very lives. This title, etched on our hearts until the day we die. We are once and forever United States Marines.
As a leader, we were talking about life and death, right? If they believe in you, and if they believe that you are going to take care of them, you're concerned about their welfare, they're going to respond to you in any situation.
From one devil dog to the next, happy birthday. Hoorah!
Once a Marine, always a Marine is not just a slogan. Here's to 244 years of success as a Corps.
We still carry the torch for that person who wore the uniform over 240 years ago.
Happy birthday, Marines.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to the entry of the official party against the line, and remain standing for the march on with the colors, the singing of our national anthem, and the entry of the traditional birthday cake.
Go! About face!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. On November 1st, 1921, John A. Lejeune, 13th Commandant of the Marine Corps, directed that a reminder of the honorable service of the Corps be published by every command to all Marines throughout the globe on the birthday of the Corps. Since that day, the men and women of our Corps continue to distinguish themselves on many battlefields and foreign shores, in war and peace. On this birthday of the Corps, therefore, in recognition of the will of the 13th Commandant, a reminder of the Corps' honorable service is published as follows.
On November 10, 1775, a Corps of Marines was created by a resolution of Continental Congress. Since that date, many thousand men have borne the name Marine. In memory of them, it is fitting that we who are Marines should commemorate the birthday of our Corps by calling to mind the glories of its long and illustrious history. The record of our Corps is one which will bear comparison with that of the most famous military organizations in the world's history. During neither of the first 146 years of its existence, the Marine Corps has been in action against the nation's foes. From the Battle of Trenton to the Argonne, Marines have won foremost honors in war, and in the long eras of tranquility at home, generation after generation of Marines have grown gray in war, in both hemispheres and in every corner of the 7 seas, that our country and its citizens might enjoy peace and security. In every battle and skirmish since the birth of our Corps, Marines have acquitted themselves with the greatest distinction, winning new honors on each occasion until the term Marine has come to signify all that is highest in military efficiency and soldierly virtue. This high-handed distinction and soldierly repute, we who are Marines today have received from those who have preceded us in the Corps. With it, we have also received from them the eternal spirit, which has animated our Corps from generation to generation, and has been the distinguishing mark of the Marines in every age. So long as that spirit continues to flourish, Marines will be found equal to every emergency in the future, as they have been in the past, and the men of our nation will regard us as worthy successors to the long line of illustrious men who have served as soldiers of the sea since the founding of the Corps. John A. Lejeune, Major General, United States Marine Corps, 13th Commandant of the Marine Corps.
The timeless message of our 13th Commandant has left its mark in the hearts and minds of all Marines past and present. By deed and act from Bellawood to the Argonne, from Guadalcanal to Iwo Jima, from Incheon to the Korean Armistice, from the hard fights in Vietnam to Desert Shield, Desert Storm, to this century's longest wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and in hundreds of other places where Marines have distinguished themselves, Marines have continued to epitomize those qualities which are their legacy. The success which the men and women who have earned the title Marine have achieved in combat, and the faith they have borne in peace will endure forever. The Commandant and our many friends have added their hearty praise and congratulations on this, our 244th birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, it is customary in Marine Corps birthday celebrations worldwide for Marines to cut a traditional cake in celebration of the birth of our illustrious Corps. To offer the first piece of cake to the guest of honor as a sign of respect and to recognize his contribution to our JROTC program and to the Marine Corps. The next piece is given to the oldest and youngest cadet in the ceremony, symbolizing the experience and the youthful spirit that is the hallmark of our Corps. The oldest cadet in the ceremony is Cadet Private Dwayne Rhodes. He was born January 4th, 2001. The passing of the cake from the oldest cadet to the youngest cadet symbolizes the passing of history and traditions to the next generation. The youngest cadet in the ceremony is Cadet Private First Class Donald Pearl. He was born on July 14, 2005. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the retiring of the colors and the march off of the official party, and remain standing for the playing of the Marines hymn.
Attention! Present. Sword. Over. March.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the commanding officer of Mount Juliet High School, Marine Corps JROTC, Cadet Captain Scott Wood.
Thank you, First Sergeant Green. Parents, families, alumni, recruiters, and distinguished guests, thank you for being here to celebrate with us the 244th anniversary of the Marine Corps. I will start out with one of my favorite quotes by Herb Brooks, the coach of the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team. He was trying to motivate his team against their favorite Soviet Union. He said, "Great moments are born from great opportunity." Just 4 months ago, our company staff was given the opportunity to execute our program's birthday ball. And under the guidance of our instructors, I believe that we have made this event a great moment through our hard work and determination. We all participate in this event each year, not just because it brings us together, but to connect us to the past. We are connected to the generations of Marines on this day by the leadership traits and principles that we uphold in our daily lives. Every time a cadet works harder to better themselves, sticks up for what's right, or makes a decision based on the needs of others, those Marines' legacies live on. When each cadet goes to sleep at night, they should ask themselves if they have worked to better themselves, acted with proficiency, looked out for the interests of their team, kept that team informed, set the example that all should follow, ensured that their task is understood, supervised, accomplished, and then worked as a team to accomplish that task. They would make their decisions on time, instill responsibility onto others, that you and your team work together to cover each other's weaknesses and boost each other's strengths. And you were fair in your decision making and took responsibility for those decisions. If you live by these leadership principles, you can sleep at ease. And more importantly, so can your instructors. Thank you very much. It is now my honor to introduce to you our guest of honor. Joseph Dalton Emmerich served in the Marine Corps JROTC program for all 4 years in Mount Juliet High School. He graduated as cadet colonel and held the position of battalion commander. He is currently in the Marine Merchant Academy, where he holds the rank of first class midshipman. He is also a member of the Naval Reserves and is currently studying to be a systems engineer, as well as a third assistant engineer aboard of merchant vessels. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for our guest of honor, Midshipman First Class Dalton Emmerich.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Major Tilly, Sergeant Major. I'm honored to be back at this program, and I just never thought I'd be back serving at this level in my life, and it's just because of this program. I believe 100% in this program. I'm Joseph Dalton Emmerich. I'm first class midshipman at the United States Merchant Marine Academy. It's one of the 5 service academies. While not this program, I was a colonel, a cadet colonel, and I served as the battalion commander. I'm currently in my 4th year at the academy, and I'm a member of the Navy Reserves, currently studying to be a systems engineer and a 31st assistant engineer. USMA prides itself on devoting, training, and graduating leaders who serve vital roles in national security, marine transportation, and economic needs in the United States. You can serve as licensed merchant mariner, officers, and commissioned officers in the armed forces. When I started out, I didn't know what the First Marines was coming into it, and I'll give a brief description. So the United States Merchant Marines are described as the 4th Arm of Defense. And this is evident in the fact that during my career history in my school, we had 142 dead midshipmen die during World War II. And we are the only service academy authorized to carry battle standard. USMA is located on Kings Point, New York, and has a rigorous acceptance requirement. Some of the seniors now I know are applying for the service academy as they know. It only selects roughly 300 applicants per year, and while you're at the academy, you'll have 3 years on campus studying for license and whichever engineering or tech track you go. And then 1 year is spent at sea. I recently just got back from the Far East. I spent 170 days flying jet fuel and diesel fuel to bases on Okinawa, Japan, Yokohama, Busan, Guam, Diego Garcia, Singapore. And I also got to do unreps with destroyers, aircraft carriers, and general service military vessels from the militaries of Australia, France, Japan, and America. I would never have been able to do these wonderful opportunities if it wasn't for this program. JROTC instilled traits and built the foundation that gave me a sense of responsibility, duty above self, the drive for constant improvement, and the needed leadership skills. While it may not seem now, while you're in high school, drill, physical training, uniform inspections, haircuts, promotions, leadership positions, they all develop your mind and body for the future. Whether or not you're going to go into the armed forces after you graduate, you will get something out of JROTC. It is said that complacency is the enemy of progression. Pushing yourself to do difficult tasks now and setting goals will never only grow you as a person and instill confidence in you, increase your vision, expand your creativity, and open up opportunities for yourself. If you stick with this program, you will reap the rewards later down the line. Trust me, just because it's going to stand here, trust me. It is my honor and privilege to be here tonight, and if anyone has questions, whether my goals, opportunities, what I've done in the Merchant Marines, and if anybody wants to go to the Service Academies, please come talk to me, and I'm really glad to answer any questions from you. Thank you very much, everyone.
As a small token of our appreciation, we would like to present the guest of honor with a gift from the cadets of our Marine Corps JROTC program. We would also like to recognize our Wilson County faculty, our Mount Juliet High School faculty members, local law enforcement, first responders, military recruiters, and veterans. Thank you for attending this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as our cadets sing the Marine Hymn. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our formal ceremony. Please remain seated for a moment as our cadets prepare a 17 dance routine in order to get us ready to enjoy dancing camaraderie as follows. Immediately following our 17, take your refreshments with certain sessions to the back of the cafeteria. Thank you for being part of this very special evening. May God bless the United States of America and success for our Marines. Happy 244th birthday, cadets.
gentlemen, your cadets are free to hang out. If you've got somewhere to be, we understand that there are familial commitments. However, we encourage everyone to hang out, dance, have cake, get jacked up on Mountain Dew, and have a good time. Thanks for coming.